So if you haven't yet, find yourself a comfortable place where you can settle in and take an oasis time to simply be. Settling into that space and that shape. That the body chooses in this moment. So let's begin to simply notice the body, this gift that we have, this body. Begin to sense how it's connected with the ground, with the surface upon which it rests. And begin to give this body permission to rest. That it is resting upon something. And allow that something, whether it's the chair or the floor or the beach, let that be a gift to your body, a resting place, an oasis. See and sense the body resting. Feel it connecting. Notice the points and the places where the body is connected with the support beneath it. Maybe it's parts of the feet, parts of the legs, parts of the buttocks, parts of your back. Maybe you've chosen a different shape. You might be lying on your side or resting against an arm of the chair. Notice the meeting places. And then begin to notice the meeting places of the air and the body. Where does the air meet the body? So you might notice the air on the exposed skin. Maybe of the hands, arms, maybe you can feel the air on the chest or neck or throat. Or on the face. And maybe the air feels quite still, or maybe you can sense a breeze or a subtler movement of the air, and yet even in perhaps the stillness. Know that there is a movement. Feel the air as it flows over the top lip into the tip of the nose, traveling through the nostrils, down the back of the throat, down to permeate the entire body, so vast. And can you begin to imagine or sense the meeting places of the air, the oxygen, within the body, with the body, through the body, the meeting places. In through the tip of the nose, over the top lip, through the nostrils, and back of the throat, down into the throat, into the lungs. Can you sense as if it was a stream flowing down the length of the arms, the inhale? As if the arms were straws, air flowing through the arms, all the way down to the wrists, and the other end of the straw are the tips of the 10 digits, the thumbs and fingers. So for these next few breaths, sense the flow of the breath in, through, and over the top lip, through the nostrils, down the back of the throat, through, down the back of the throat, into the chest, and allow it to flow down the hollowness of the arms and out the tips of each of the fingers, thumbs, pointer fingers, ring fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and baby fingers. Breath comes and goes. Breath comes in through the nostrils, down the back of the throat, into the chest cavity. And maybe it's the exhale, pressing down through the arms to the tips of the fingers, taking with it any sludge, any stuckness. Begin to imagine, see or sense each time the prana begins to flow through the hollowness of the arms, through the hollowness of the digits, out the tips of the fingers, that it is becoming less and less murky and more clear. And it becomes more and more clear, so crystal clear. That the entire arms themselves become crystal clear. And as you continue to notice the breath come in over the top lip, in through the tip of the nose, through the nostrils, down the back of the throat, into the chest. How it begins to flow now through the hollowness of the torso. Every exhale allowing the air to travel from the chest all the way down through this, not just the central channel of the torso, but as a river beginning to overflow its banks, this prana overflows the central channel, flowing through the entire width and breadth of the torso. The air flows in over the top of the lip, in through the tip of the nose, the nostrils, back of the throat, into this huge cavernous chest. And with the exhale, it flows down, filling the torso, and it flows out through the pelvic floor, out through the hip joints. And here again, every breath in, drawing in that crystal clear prana, air. And as it washes through the torso, each exhale washing through the torso, taking with it the debris, the murkiness, the muddiness, the stagnation. Replacing it bit by bit as it washes through the torso, each breath carrying with it a way to be gone forever, that which is dark and murky, that which is stagnant and stuck, begins to move and flow more and more easily. Sense that clarity, that crystal clear prana. As the muddiness and the murkiness sinks lower and lower through the body, being replaced more and more with this crystal clear prana. And begin to feel and sense such clarity that the torso itself is no longer visible. And so now you might just sense the prana arriving, this energy, or maybe it's simply air. You can sense it arriving into the body through the upper regions, and it washes down through, all the way down through the hollowness of each leg, right and left, all the way down the legs, through the feet, out through the tips of all the digits on the foot, And so this beautiful prana arrives and washes through, all the way down through the legs, out through the feet, so that this debris continues to settle lower and lower. Settling out through the soles of the feet and the tips of each of the toes. And from the hip creases also beginning to become so crystal clear that you lose a sense of a beginning and ending of the hip creases and even the upper legs, the clarity washing through that tip of the nose, the nostrils, the back of the throat, down through the torso. So easily it flows now, all the way down to the hip creases. Washing through the hollows of the upper legs and touches the knees, and just notice if there's a little bit of stagnation in the knees. It will loosen, it will flow, rippling down the lower legs into the feet and out the soles of the feet and the tips of each of the toes. Notice for these next several breaths how it arrives and how it leaves. Not just the journey of the breath, but what the breath is doing. More and more of the body becoming crystal clear, transparent. Sense now the snow on the mountain being warmed by the sun. The snow glistening like diamonds as it reflects the sun and responds to the sun. And you begin to see little rivulets of water as the snow responds to the sun and begins to change shape also. Changing its form from crystal to liquid, rolling downwards. So it is responding not just to the sun, but also to the invitation of gravity, drawn down the slope of the mountain. Allow yourself to change form, to change shape, to respond to the sun and to gravity. Sensing now the spirit of the body becoming liquid form, flowing, invited by gravity to flow downward in response to the warmth of the sun the source of energy, touching, transforming, and being transported, interconnected, not an isolated island, an island unto oneself, no. Responding, responsive. Sense the warmth of the sun above you, softening and transforming so that you can water the earth. It is not that you are broken. It is that you are being transformed so that you can be of service, so that you can water the earth, so that the dryness that is around you can flourish again. Allow the transformation. Allow the melting. Let it be. And see before your very eyes the green return to the dry, barren land. This is you. This is you being willing. This is you surrendering. This is you being receptive or being in the presence of the greatest source of energy. All you have to do is be. All you have to do is be. And as you are transformed from your willingness to be in source presence, transforms you, waters the barren ground around you, and you see, can you see? It is happening. The green is returning again. Where in your life can you see that the green is returning again? And from where did it come from? Not your doing. It came from your being. All that is required of you, the fullness of what is required of you, is to be present in source, within source and surrounded by source. So much so that there is no difference between you and source. Simply a completely translucent vessel, watering the ground, seeing the green return, and in its season the leaves appear. And as you continue to be in presence, to be presence, the flowers appear. The trees flourish. They bloom and they blossom and they produce fruit. Simply because of being. So simply be. Simply be. And in this simply being, more and more life becomes apparent. Can you see the butterflies flittering and fluttering? Wild life coming forth. Birds singing. And what happens, my friends, when it rains? Has the sun truly disappeared? Has it stopped shining? No, it is still there. And what has happened is the water that you became, that nourished the earth, has risen up. It has risen up. The clouds have seen the value and for a time held. And then when it was time, the clouds too joined in the releasing and the flow of water, blessing the earth, blessing you, blessing all of nature, simply being. Do not be afraid of the clouds, no matter how dark they are. Do not be afraid of the clouds, no matter how dark they are. Do not be afraid of the shifting atmosphere, no matter how loud and thunderous it becomes. And do not be afraid of the power of the lightning, no matter how close it may seem. Simply be. Does that mean that you don't put up your umbrella? Certainly you put up your umbrella. Does it mean you don't put on a raincoat? Certainly you put on a raincoat if it has been provided for you. What you need will be provided. What you need will be provided. What you need will be provided. It is the cycle. And this is the meeting point. being open to the sun as snow, becoming liquid as you respond to the power of the sun, and you water the earth, and the earth creates and gives all that is needed. And the water itself begins to rise up and pours down on you. Do not be afraid of the rain. That same earth that was blessed by your water, the waters of your life, now gives back to you what you need. You are provided for. It is okay to use the resources that have been put within your reach. You have blessed and you are being blessed, and that is the cycle. You are blessed and you are being blessed. That is the cycle. You are blessed and you are being blessed. That is the cycle. Do not be afraid. And it is also okay to be afraid and to let it go. The cycle is ever changing. Our sensory perceptions are ever changing. Our thoughts are ever changing. And underneath that is the never changingness of Source. Of the stillness and the quietness of simply being. So let that being permeate every action that you do. Let that simply being permeate every word that you speak. Simply be, even as you begin to become aware of the room that you're in, of the body that you are in, of the connection beneath you, behind you, around you. Come back into your body. Know that you are a blessing and are being blessed. There is no need to hurry back into movement, but as you are ready, begin to reconnect with your body by bringing movement back into it. Letting the head rock, the shoulders wiggle, the wrists circle, fingers wiggle, toes wiggle, ankles circle or point and flex. Yeah. Maybe taking a big reach, and stretching. And Even as you allow sight to become active as you blink your eyes open, allow yourself to be. The light in me sees and bows to the light in you, through you. Namaste.